with a few leaders of important organizations in Africa. I welcome you, Zachuas from Kenya, and Martha from Kenya too, I think.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm introducing myself. I'm Marianne. I'm actually living in Greece with a couple of cats, as you can see. So my African friends are working with children and helping children. I'm actually having a sanctuary for cats.
Wow, that is great.
So I'm helping cats. This is why I'm a veterinarian. And as a vet, you should help animals.
Yeah.
And I specialize a bit on those four-legged friends. And his name is Baby Juno, a very sweet one who was orphaned and is with me since the first week of his life.
So sad.
That is very nice.
Yeah, it's nice, very nice. So, Zachuas, could you please introduce yourself to those people who still don't know you?
Okay. First,
Oh, the connection is bad at the moment.
I'm Zachaus and organizations that today we are connecting as Lift the Children that brings together organizations that support destitute and orphaned children in Kenya, Uganda, and Liberia. And I've been leading.
Oh, sad, the connection is not so good.
This one, it has been for the last that we do is basically these centers receive children from the streets. They host them, they give them livelihood, and they help them go back to school. And they help them do the basic things they require so they can grow up to be normal children. So in today's session, I'll be speaking a lot more about those children of that type, although I'm passionate about children in general, and I want to be able to live better and to be able to become responsible citizens of the future.
Yeah, thank you. Martha, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Martha Wanjau. I am from Kenya. I am from Utugi Angels, and I'm the founder of Utugi Angels. Utugi Angels rescues, rehabilitates, reintegrates, and resocializes children living with disability. Oh. We specialize in mental disability, and we can say that so far we have tried our best, and we are happy this far. And we can say that there are many challenges that comes by that. And we are, despite the fact that mental disability is not well captured in our policies in Kenya, we struggle through and we have seen some turnaround. They have transformed and we are glad.
Yeah.
This is me, Martha Wanjau from Utugi Angels. And Utugi Angels is a member of Lift the Children.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is very nice. Now we have somebody here whom we don't know because there only is user and no picture. Who could that be? Hello, you there? Zachuas, do you know who that is?
No, I don't know actually. If it was one of the two speakers, I will have their name. So I don't think it's one of them. So.
Okay. So, as we are still waiting for Moses and Oliver to join in,
yes.
In the meantime, I could just ask, what is the main problem you're facing in Kenya at the moment?
Can I start?
The children you work with.
Yes, Martha can go first, and then I will speak.
All right.
Oh, this is Moses joining in, I think.
Yes.
The children from the children centers, it is very, I can say it's a very trying moment at the moment during this COVID-19 time period.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, the main problem is psychological distress. We can say there's so much that is happening, you can't even imagine. And in Kenya specifically, we were, there are children that we had to reintegrate, and we had not prepared them to go back to their kinship. And we had not prepared the kinship, but there was a directive that came along that we have to reintegrate them in the families. And it didn't end up so well because we had not gone through the process of preparation, the proper reintegration.
Yes.
Again, the issue of disrupted education, because right now the schools are closed, and we hear that we might go back in January, which we are not even sure. We never know what will happen then. But the children that are in rescue centers and had been reintegrated back without preparation.
Martha, are you still here?
It's worse scenarios because the children are already challenged, and then you're putting the children in a situation that they were not, you had not prepared them through the right process. But those that we have had to we have rescued a lot even since then. And right now, the children that we are with in the center, they are much better off than the ones we reintegrated without preparation.
Yeah, yes, of course.
And because we are still continuing rescuing children from the streets, children that are not in safe grounds. And we are experiencing a lot at this moment, around this season. There's also an issue like parents don't have those structures, that a lot of time is spent in education institutions. And when the children are at home and the parents were not even also, they had not prepared their minds that the children are coming home because of COVID-19.
Yeah.
And they are actually fighting within themselves. So they are not psychologically also set up to guide children. So there's a lot of things that are happening around homes. There are things that are happening in kinship that it's not going to end up very well. We can say that also, like us, the people who deal with children with mental disability, we have systems that we use, because before even you put a child in an education program, we really need to take care of their feeding, their nutritional program, their psychiatric clinics, follow-up, their HIV, because a lot of them are vulnerable, have gone through sexual abuse, there's issues of HIV and AIDS and all that. Yeah. There's no proper follow-up. It's very difficult to follow up when they're at home because you have to travel, which there has been a lockdown, there has been restrictions of travel. We have to keep explaining ourselves. You're on our way to pick a child, to take for clinic. Even in the hospitals, it's still a mess because of the disruptions that are in COVID with this coronavirus period. And it also becomes very expensive for us.
No.
Again, when we are trying to feed a child from the center and following up keenly with therapy issues and all that, it's not the same when like a child who is reintegrated. And even right now, because we have services of maybe the counselors, with the travel, the therapists, the various therapists, because we have music, we have the physiotherapy, occupational therapy, it's becoming very actually disrupted. Right now, we can say we are offering, even with offering our best, it's still a huge challenge. And again, people like us, we really, the community really comes in when it comes to service to these children. And right now, we cannot have contact with the community. So that means the people who would wish maybe to the donors, the people who are giving food, stuff, or clothing, right now with that cut, it is also very strenuous for us, organizations serving these children, because the support that you get, maybe the community support, and maybe people who would wish to come and support us, there's a restriction that they cannot come.
Yes.
In as much as we formulate the systems of maybe collecting food from some points, some of them love to donate when they can see the children or they can be able to meet the people who are vulnerable, who are the beneficiaries of these things. So a lot of them again shun away. Plus, also they are facing other difficulties because even them, they have challenges with the economic times surrounding this coronavirus period. And not as many as maybe before. They would love to serve, but they don't have the capacity now because they're also fighting with their own challenges.
Yes.
I would love to say that.
Martha,
yes,
give us
yes.
a chance to introduce the others.
Okay.
Okay.
So welcome Moses from the Special Children in Uganda, and welcome Oliver. Oliver, we cannot see your picture yet. Zachuas, maybe you can tell Oliver that he didn't join in with the camera and he didn't join in with the audio.
Oliver, can you hear us?
I think he will have difficulties.
I'll try give him a call.
Yeah, please.
But Moses can introduce himself in the meantime.
Yes. So Moses, would you please introduce yourself?
All right. Thank you, and apologies for being 8 minutes late. My name is Moses, and I'm working with Special Needs Children in Uganda. I'm actually the founder of Special Children, Special People. It is also an NGO that supports and empowers children with disabilities and families. Yeah, so we've been in around 10 years when we've been in operation, but initially we had concentrated on children, but then we saw there was a missing link between the child and the family. Sometimes we could try as much as possible to support the children, but because of other economic and social challenges, so the families were feeling that probably it was the work of Moses and the team to support these children. So eventually started supporting the families as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I can talk about COVID virus, I think it is not going to be really far different from what the other speaker has been talking about. But in the case of the disability world, I think it is more of a complex because even before COVID, I think our governments have not done enough to realize that there are special needs people that need extra support, extra help in all the activities that they're doing. So even when it came to planning, even when it came to lockdown, I think they didn't give it the enough interest that it deserved, such that we can also move with the rest of the teams. For example, they are talking about a lockdown, closing schools, and waiting until further notice. But you'll come to realize that children with special needs have special attention that they should probably be receiving all the time. Now you come to a scenario whereby a child is home 24 hours, the parent is supposed to look for something to eat, the children was not welcomed into the community. So you find it is really a bit challenging. All that you're getting all the time is, my child is lost, my child is beaten, my child is taken to a local council because he's told something. So this is all that we are getting.
So you're facing a lot of problems, obviously.
Yes.
So, Oliver, are you prepared?
Oliver looks like he's still setting up.
Oliver, can you hear us? Oliver, if you can hear us, you should open your mic. This is shut down at the moment, so that you can introduce yourself. Hello. Hello, Oliver and Margaret. Oh, we cannot hear you. Maybe you're too far away from your mobile? Maybe they still have a technical issue.
Oliver, can you please unmute? Turn on the microphone.
We could hear you a bit, but you are too far away from your phone, I think. It's not loud enough. Hello? Zachuas, can you help them?
Let me call him. Let me call him.
Yeah, please call him and tell him to open his loudspeaker on the mobile. I think that is the problem. So in the meantime, I have Moses and Martha to speak to.
Yes.
And as I did see, you both work with special children.
Yes.
And children that have many, many problems.
Very many.
Yes, and COVID-19 very obviously did worsen the whole situation.
Yeah, it's worst. It's the worst period that we have ever experienced.
Oliver.
Even
hello?
So we are muting Zachuas for the moment. The first time always seems to be technically a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Once we do it a second time, it will be easier.
True.
So I guess you and Moses face quite the same challenges. Is this right? Did I see this correct?
Most likely, but I don't know the Ugandan policies, but the Kenyan policies is not favorable.
Mm-hmm.
I am not conversant with the Uganda policy, but I can say that our Kenyan policies are not very favorable for mental health. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Can you say something, Moses? Yes, I think it's almost the same, and I think it cuts across Africa. Mm-hmm. Mental and the physical disability is not yet open. You know, sometimes, of course, the policy makers will talk about it, but then it will end up in the drawer. The implementation is still poor.
Yeah. So what would you wish from the governments? What would be your special wish to your politicians?
If I can start, first of all is accessibility. Accessibility to all is number one. Mm-hmm. Then opportunities to all is number two. Yes, at least if we could start with the two, maybe things can get a little bit better.
Yeah. What do you say to that, Martha?
I would say that I want them, I would love to say to my politician that I want them more included. I would love to see that inclusion, because these people are still being born and they will live amidst us, and we need to integrate them into our day-to-day lives. So I cry and I advocate for inclusivity. Yeah. I also encourage our communities, when you're having maybe communal issues, to include them. They want also an equal opportunity. Despite the fact that they have the disabilities, they also feel good when they are included and given those challenges, those challenging platforms, so that they may feel that they are equal members of the society. Yeah.
Yeah. So Oliver and Margaret are back. Oliver, you need to unmute your mic when you want to talk to us.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Hello to you both.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Marianne. I'm living in Greece. I can introduce one of my cats from my sanctuary here. This is baby Juno. He just wants to be here at the moment, so I let him.
Okay.
And could you please introduce yourself and tell us shortly what you do?
My name is Pastor Oliver, founder director of Agape. So my wife.
And I'm Margaret. Pleasure. Okay, Agape. With Agape, we run a children's home. We run a school. We also have a drop-in center for street children. And we also do rescue. We do reintegration, and we also do trace program for children who are from the streets. With children of the street, we have two categories. So we have those who are on the street and children off the street.
Yeah. Can you explain this for European people, what that means?
Okay, for the children of the street, these are children who are permanently on the street. And children off the street, on the street.
We can't hear you, the mic is muted. Open your mic, please, Margaret.
Can you unmute, please? You muted yourself. I think we lost Margaret there. They can't hear us.
Now they are back again. Okay. Margaret, could you explain again? We just lost you.
I was saying, children of the street, these are children who are born and raised on the street. And children on the street, these are children who will come in the morning and then they go back home. So they have a place they belong to. So they only come to the streets. Maybe they come because of frustrations at home. Some come to the street because they love going to the street. And the ones off the street, these are the ones who've been born and raised on the street. So when you're trying to rescue these two groups, it becomes a bit challenging, because the ones who are born and raised on the street, sometimes if you rescue 10, you may end up remaining with only one.
Why?
Because they are used to the life of the street. They are the ones who rule themselves. They're the ones who do all the decision making. They're the ones who do the decision making. So they have no one who guides them. So they guide themselves.
I understand now. It is like a stray cat.
Yes.
And they themselves need to make the decision that they want to have a home and somebody to care for them.
Sure.
Yeah. I understand now. It's the same with these stray cats here in Greece. If you can't tame them, they decide that they want to come to a house and be tamed. It's their own decision.
Sure.
Yeah. I understand. So this is not an easy work.
In the power of decision making, they make decision by themselves. They don't get order from any other person. They don't give room for correction. They don't give room for people to implement order in them. They feel like they own themselves. They can rule themselves. They can decide by themselves.
Yes.
So that's the different. Now the ones that we want to bring them on, the children on the street, is just they are trying to cope from the other side. They have families that also they need to live with the family values, because now they know there is a rule, there is a authority. They want to believe in the authority in the family. Now, once they go back, they decide to come back again at home, because they know there is a place where if they don't come, a door can be locked.
Yeah.
And they don't have access for it. But the other ones, they know they own their own doors, they own their own thing. So it belongs to them. They feel like we own this. And for a child like that, they don't give a room, no matter how much they have a right, they don't give a room for responsibilities. Which we feel like as far as they have a right to be free, to guide themselves, they also have a responsibility is to obey the rules. And the danger also can come is sometimes you found they are gangsters or some come do some other bad stuff. They don't even give a way of obeying the law of the land, even the government laws, because they didn't learn that even from when they were little. So they grow up very brutal.
Yeah.
Nobody can talk to them. They don't give a space or a near for people to put some sense in their heart. So, so those are the few challenges also they normally have.
So the only thing that can reach them is the divine. And if the divine can't reach them, they are lost.
Yes,
Sure.
yes.
I understand. Thank you very much. Now, Zachuas, it's your time. You need to unmute your
mic. Thank you very much. And I'm glad to see Moses, to see Oliver and Martha, both of them joining us. Sorry for a little bit tough start, but I hope we can now settle in and be able to share a few things on what we wanted to talk about. Like they have shared with you, each and every center they run has unique challenges depending on which location they are at. We have like Oliver and her wife, they operate more or less from the city. Martha operates from a little bit of a rural setup. I think also Moses operates a little bit from a city center or in Uganda. So going with the geographical settings and where these people are, you might find the challenges are a little bit different. But the shared issues are that all of them are children, and these children face challenges, regardless of whether they're in the village or they're in the city.
That's right.
All of them do face challenges.
That's right.
Yes. And what we try to do and what we see as a big challenge right now is the inconsistency in the government policy around children issues. So like right now, you will find that there is no clear direction. When COVID-19 started, government just said all the children to reintegrate those children who have relatives and to only keep a few, but they didn't follow that with now those who are remaining behind. How are we going to help? There has been a lot of talk, of course, about they are going to help the children who are living in the children institutions, but that is just talk. 3 months down the line after COVID happened, we have not seen any specific help being channeled to this particular group. And this means the people who are running these centers where they host children home, the children, they are facing sort of 3 times what they usually face. They have all the children within the facilities, but very little coming through because part of the order also restricted movement. So it made sure that there's no one visiting the facility, and they are also actually not allowed to come out. So even some of them have had to host their employees within the facility. And this means twice the burden that they usually have. So while on one hand, we have seen government moving in to reinforce that the children who live in the institutions are safe, but they have not followed up. They have not followed that up with the resources. They are not including the people who are taking care of these children in their planning. They are not reaching out to them and asking what will be a better way to handle this situation. And of course, we see on the side of the children themselves, the challenge of children when they are closed up all the time and they don't have an opportunity to go out and express themselves and play and be children. Then there are a lot of psychological issues that come into play. Children become rowdy, they become indisciplined, they don't want to clean up, they don't want to do anything. So, and it's because of that level of restriction that is there. So we see a lot of challenges on the side of policy right now. There is no clear direction. We see a lot of challenges on the side of the environment in which the children are now, going with the resources that are available. There is no support in terms of how do we help these children continue to be children even in this particular environment. And I think lastly, another challenge we are seeing is largely to do with the society understanding. So yesterday I was in a children's home. I visited one of the centers, and it hosts children who have been abused. You know, who the young girls, teen moms, they have been abused before they are 18 years. They have gone through a lot of trauma. Some of them are teen moms. They have children at a very young age. So some of them went back during this lockdown. And when I was visiting the center, I found actually some of them have returned with a double abuse. You know, last time they were abused by an uncle, and now they have been abused by another person. You know, so they were already suffering, and then because COVID came and everybody and government ordered that they be released to their relatives, they were released without preparation. And where they have gone, they met their abusers again, and they ended up being abused again second time. So we see such kind of trauma facing young girls. It's a big challenge right now. So and we do hope that there will be solutions, but it's something that across Kenya, children are badly exposed at the moment.
I agree with you, Zan.
Does anyone want to reply?
Okay. I would want to say what Zachaus is saying, it's very true. Like yesterday, we were reaching to some of our children whom we reintegrated back to their families immediately when the government said that children should be reintegrated to their relatives. And what we found, we really felt, it really touched our hearts, because these children are the ones who are now to fetch for themselves just because they are orphans. And another thing is the community itself. I'll say, as much as the community would want to help, the community is also overwhelmed because they also don't have what they'll give these children. And as we were visiting these families, there's one family that told us that they've even changed their lifestyle. So they sleep at 5 in the morning, because they don't have enough food. So they sleep 5 in the morning, and then they wake up at 7 in the evening, because they say during the day you will feel hungry, but at night you won't feel so much hungry because it's dark, the time is less, and you're not going out. But during the day, because you have to go out, sometimes the sun is out, sometimes it's cold, you hear your neighbor cooking, you smell the smell of food. So it makes you feel so bad. And I was really touched, because imagining someone changing his or her lifestyle just because of this situation, the COVID-19 situation. And it's sad. It's sad.
The reason also, these children, the time that we had them in the center, they could have breakfast.
Yes.
We could provide for them lunch and also supper. So it was not a burden to the guardians. Now, once we sent them back to the guardians, some of them, the preparation, as Ezekiel has said, preparation, the time that we took to prepare psychologically for this child to be sent back home, the preparation, the time frame was very short. Yeah. So even the family that was receiving these children, it was also short for them. So there was no proper plan, future plan, or activity plan that they were planning to be ready to receive these children, to be with them. So those are the challenges that has caused these children, the family, to change even their lifestyle, trying to sleep during the day so that kids won't request for food. So they are trying to see how they can only have 1 meal a day. And this 1 meal, it means they'll only eat in the evening. They share around 7 or maybe 6 something. They won't take any more food until the following day again. So those are some of the reasons that is making our children also feel like there's going to be a problem of them coping, staying at home or staying with the relatives. And we are very afraid because that's the reason you'll be seeing children now going around feeling that they are right, their opportunity was not been given, and the conflict now is between them and the guardian saying, please, can you take us back to the center? Can you take us back where we belong? Now they are calling our centers homes more than their families. And here the government is telling us, children, of course, as we know, they say it's going to be better with the relatives than with the centers. But the problem is, during this time of COVID, no jobs, no food, no money is moving around. People are scared even of going outside. So now the worry is the effort we have been doing maybe to bring these children, especially the children on the street that we have been dealing with as Agape. We brought them from the street and we trying to unite the child back to the family. So they feel it's better I go back to the street. It's better I go back to the street, which they won't be safe for them. The place won't be safe for them. And even the guardians, also their families, won't also not going to be safe because you don't know where and what can happen if these children continue to be in the street. So we are also looking at if the government also can look at even the children that remain in the institutions. No food, no visitors. We are not allowed visitors to come to the homes. So people are hungry. Our conception, even the way of feeding them, it's becoming a problem because sometimes we could depend on well-wishers who could pop in our doors and dump some stuff, dump some food, some fruit for the children. So now it has been so hard and we can feel it. What about the children that also we are dealing with them? We are trying to cover that, involving the children maybe in the agriculture, doing a lot of, like we here in Agape, trying to show them how to do farming stuff, beadwork, but that is not enough, you know. We're going to plant like a small place we have in the sack and other stuff, but the food is not so much that we can depend on that it can be able to feed all the children in the centers. So it's still a big problem that if the government also can consider the children that are children institutions, because we still have a big number of children that we could not take them anywhere. The few in the street that we brought from the street, they cannot be taken anywhere. Children who have been abused by their relatives, some of them we just found hard to take them back again to their village. Just another day, the government opened up where people can now travel from different areas. Now, our issue here, we are asking, are we going to take these children back to their relatives where the people who abused them are still in that community? So it's still a challenge that we're having. There is no follow-up. There is no idea they're giving to us what to do next with these people that we are that have been abusing or mistreating our children. So we don't know what to do. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
Oh, in fact, it's not right.
Maybe.
If I could, can I say something about that, Mary?
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
please.
Okay. Yeah. You know, we all talking about challenges, but I think, you know, we are seeing the same challenges at different angles. If I could give an example about Uganda, they lifted the lockdown to maybe 60%, whereby public transport was opened, but a car is supposed to carry half of what it was supposed to carry before. So that means there is a hike in transport.
Yes.
Even some, like many of our parents are reside in slums. So that means many they work in markets. The markets are not yet opened. But you see, because a human has to survive, they will try as much as possible to make ends meet. Now I'm going to give you a scenario whereby a single mother who has a special needs child, probably a girl is maybe 18, 17, sometimes it is even a boy, and now she's supposed to walk from wherever she's staying to town, at least to try as much as possible to get some money. So the child that he or she's leaving behind has a mental disability. The community, the neighbors around, they are not welcoming this child because of the stigma attached to the mental disability. So sometimes they try to lock up these children in their houses, but we are talking, it is actually not a house, because even if you lock it and someone wants to get in, they will eventually do that. So many of the parents' houses have been broken into and the children are abused. So that is one of the examples. There is a lot of sexual harassment that is going on, and it is actually not only the mentally challenged, but even parents of children that are ordinary, they are complaining. Many of the children have gotten pregnant from the neighbors, a child is in a need, the parent doesn't have what to give. Maybe this child will try to walk to the neighbor to get some food, and in the end they are abused. They fear to speak it out. The counselor would come in to help, who would understand this child, doesn't have any means of reaching out to this family. So it is really challenging. The economical hardships that the parents are going through, like Zach said earlier, that it has like tripled the expense of what they were supposed to spend before. So you find that even some of the parents, some of the guardians of these children have been forced to sell their own children. I'm saying they've been forced, I'm not saying it is good, but because it has happened, sometimes you say, why was this done? And they say, I had no option. I had nothing to feed to my family. So someone came in and said, okay, I'm giving you this money, and so you give me your child. Maybe they stay with me. Maybe I take them on as wives. And it has happened. I'm talking all that has been happening now. We have reports. We are sharing with the police. The police says we don't have means to move. We are doing a lot of work. So everything, if I could say, is just upside down. So the last one I could talk about is stigma. If I were to talk about the children that have the mental and physical disability. Because of the living environment that I talked about, the slums, even though it is a slum, but there are guidelines and regulations from the landlord to where you're going to stay. So sometimes when your neighbors are complaining about your child is making a lot of noise, your child doesn't sleep, your child is drooling, if you know what I mean. So some of the parents have been forced out of the houses because of their own children. So they have turned to the street now, and yet they don't have any help. That's what I can share from Uganda for now.
Okay, maybe. Okay, Martha, can I go on?
Yeah.
Maybe I could add on what Moses has shared from Uganda. I also feel for the children who have issues with toileting, because maybe like in the center, we have made it friendly. There is a special toilet for special children who need support. And when I go around visiting the children that I released, sometimes I feel it for them, because there are no those facilities back at home, and they are really struggling with the toileting issues. And in as much as like when they are in the center, sometimes you're able to help them out even without using diapers, and use diapers as when actually it is a must to do it. But right now we have a huge expense in terms of diapers. And then we are feeling that if we have to support these people at home, it's very expensive. If we had the money, if we had the resources, we would be able to put up toilets that the people can reach out for. And I can tell you that is resulting to other issues, gynecological issues, because of the dirt surrounding such children. We can also say that the loneliness, because some of these are not mobile, some of them do not have speech, and people think that now that they don't have speech, they don't need communication, but they love to be loved. Even smiling at them makes all the difference. And the children that when we are around, all of us, even if the child doesn't have speech, they feel the love from the way we treat them. And at home, maybe there is not that attention, and they are feeling so lonely. And also they are becoming very vulnerable to diseases. The immunity goes down when someone is down. The emotional balancing is not addressed. They have also become sexual, they are being exploited in terms of sexual and criminalities. We see children on the streets. The persons with disabilities are the ones who are used to transport abusive drugs. We also see them being used because the police, okay, in the Kenyan law, the police will not be able, they may not hold so much on a person who is mentally disabled. So people take advantage, the normal people take advantage and use these children on the streets that are mentally challenged to transport bad things, illegal firearms. When it comes to drugs and those abuse things, they are the ones who are used because they are not even conscious what it is. And some of them have gone to an extent of using them. So we actually sometimes fight with rehabilitating them, recovering them from using those drugs. And it is not easy for a mentally challenged person to recover from that because they feel like they are not aware. When you're trying to fix this, it's very difficult to fix that in their minds because they are not reasoning at the same capacity like we are. We look at the issues of travel, like they may not even, it is not even making sense what social distancing is. We have to do it physically for them. We have to hold the child and put the child at a certain space where you think they have enough social distance when you're around public places. Maybe when you're on your way to the hospital, on your way to find, to get those services that you require. And we have around this season, the COVID-19 season, we have really issues with children with disability being taken advantage of in terms of sexual abuse, incest back in their families, because they feel that they will not speak out. They may not be able to speak out, or they are not mobile. So it's easy to misuse them because they will not be able to run away. And a lot of them have been abused, and they will not be able to express it. So they keep suffering. We have had children who we have just rescued back. They have been sodomized in those families. And you wonder now if that is the safe place, the safe landing of a child who is handicapped, and they become the abusers. What next? It is very, very difficult around this season. That loneliness is also drifts them away from spirituality. For example, right now, even the churches are closed. And sometimes for us, we are able to have the live channels. We are getting the spiritual nourishment. Even right now, we even have more than we usually have. Maybe the one we usually go on Sunday. Right now, all the spiritual leaders are online. But these children may not be able to access that. And one of the things in Kenya is that children with disabilities have always been left home while people go to church because they feel that they are going to disturb them while they are listening to the services. They do not forget, they forget that they need spiritual nourishment, whether they are speaking, whether they have speech or not, whether they are mobile or not, they also deserve that spiritual address. And when we rescue them, we are able to arrange that for every child. So we ensure that every child has access to spiritual nourishment. Even for those who are not mobile, we go to church, or we call the spiritual leaders to come and address their spiritual aspect. But now when they go back to those homes, they become a burden. So you find that they have no access to spiritual nourishment, which is basic for them. It is not, I can say it's not easy, especially the way right now I'm dealing with sexual issues. It is not easy for me. I have children who have been sodomized. They cannot even hold their bowels. They're just flowing. And sometimes when it is from the home and you are not at home when that thing happened there and then, you don't have the samples to take to the hospitals, which have also been turned to COVID-19 rescue centers. And we have really to go very far to get the normal medical care that you usually get from the local hospitals, which some of them have been turned to COVID-19, I mean the coronavirus centers. It is not easy. And again, the abuser maybe it's the father or the mother or the uncle. The family is trying to hide on those stories. And the children are suffering. And as the people who rescue, we have to address this. I am telling you right now, it's not a cup of soup. It's not easy. But we thank God because we just do our best and leave the rest because we don't know what we can do at the moment. But I believe that even there are also positive things that we have found around this coronavirus period. There are children that we also reintegrated, and also we have realized that there are those children that can be developed from their homes and the homes. Yeah, there are quite a number that can also be developed from home. I have with this experience also, it has opened my mind. I'm looking at it in a larger. It's only that if only we would have resources, we would be able, because everybody also wants to belong to some place, to where they belong. They have the real belonging. But for those, even if there are very few, we found out if we had the resources, we would be able to ensure that we develop them from home and involve the parents or their kinship, where those people who are the places are safe for them to land. We can involve the kinship, and we can be able to develop them from their centers and involve them slowly involve them in cottage industries. Because like people with mental disabilities, there are no schools in Kenya. We have that shortage of access, these places that people can access to even get those skills. But right now, because Utugi Angels, we are developing slowly, we are developing cottage industries for people with disabilities because they have no access to schools. We realize that we can be able to reach out to places, people who have the homes that are safe. If we had the resources, because it's very expensive also to keep traveling, to keep doing that, but it is possible because they also need to have that belonging, the sense of belonging. And for those that have a safe landing, we feel that we can manage that so that we also give the opportunity to more children from the streets to have a landing in our centers as we develop those that can still stay at home as we continue developing them from their homes. It is not easy. We only have God by our side, but we can say that we are doing our best as people in these services.
Sure.
I believe that you are all
with
doing
persons.
your best.
Yeah, maybe I can also add that with as people who are dealing with special needs, we can say that they trust animals more than humans. Yeah. And you'll find that we have animal therapy in our center. We have the different, and you'll find maybe a child is attached to poultry. Another one is attached to maybe dairy. And there's that connection that just allows them to have that feeling that they are safe. And so when the child has maybe an attack, maybe when they are low or when they have that attack, when they are not themselves, some of them, it will just give them, they get healed by just a walk to the poultry or a walk, just an association with a certain animal, because animals they feel a lot of, there's a lot of association between animals and mental health. It's very therapeutic. And so some of these things are not available at home. They may not only, a lot of families do not even know how to handle children with these issues. We have, they have been abused. Persons with mental disability have been abused a lot by humans. And so their trust levels, because they still want that living thing, has been slowly moved to animals because they are safe in the hands of the animals. And a lot of families are not aware of this. I have yesterday I had a case of a child who was born with a condition that the family did not understand. So every time this child got an attack, the family kept beating the child. And so the child developed, it's 20 years of development in developing an insecurity. And they did not just understand why the child got very violent or hated them so much. So this child locked herself. For the last 3 weeks, she has been in the house. And she doesn't talk to the mother. She's not eating, she's waiting to die. And here I just walk in and just share love, nothing more than just love. And the child opens up. And the child, with just arriving at Utugi Angels, everything changed. And I was able to train the family how to handle the child. And they were able to connect. Because only that they did not understand that what the child was going through. And then the child did not understand why the family is hating her, because she belongs there. And so slowly by slowly developed the gap. So it is not easy. It is very, very hectic, especially with this COVID-19, with the challenges, the economic challenges, with a lot of time. There's a lot of people are at home because of the lockdowns. So they have a lot of time even to sexual abuse. There's a lot of time, even a lot of vulnerability. People are idle, children are idle. They are roaming all over. So many of them are pregnant at the moment. It's a sad scenario for us. But we know that, yeah, with God, everything is possible.
Yes, Martha, allow Mary to ask a question, I think.
Okay. All right.
I didn't understand what you said, Zachuas?
I said, Mother, to allow you to ask a question. You wanted to ask something.
No, I didn't want to ask something. I just said that I understand the problems, and that's a very sad thing, what happens there. I was not aware of that amount of abuse.
Yes, it is there.
It's a very, very sad story.
But I thank God we have hope, because what we decided as like Utugi Angels. Let me give an example with where I am. We have arranged. We are slowly developing cottages, and we are even empowering the people with physical disabilities, those that are bedridden and their hands can still work. We are imparting skills so that we may be bringing to them raw material. They make the products, and then we try to market those products so that they can earn their lives even when they are bedridden. So, and also we can use them for a continuity of a community, empowering those with mental disability. And we have seen it work, and we know that we'll get there. Yeah.
That's very true. That's very true. I remember. Sometime when we don't give them a chance, and we don't want to give them focus in what they want, sometimes we get up losing them, and there's also opportunity. I had some kids here that were coming from Makueni, a place called Mbone, special school. And we went there, we brought the children here. We just want to do an exchange program for the people living with disability. And these children, some of them, they were just dumped there. So the day we brought them here, I've been training them about how to plant kales, sukuma wiki, and spinach. So I focus much with them with the agriculture part. And what the work they've been doing, especially right now, so they were sending me photos. They were sending me photo about what they are doing now on the other side. Imagine they're producing now food from the other to the other children that are also in the place. And it has been a challenge. Some youth in their area was saying, I got it amazed, they sent me a video saying, if they can do it, and we didn't have an idea that they can make something different, then the youth now come together and they are doing a lot of that and changing life. So sometimes what we need to do is to understand, we need to protect them as much as possible, because if we don't give them a chance to see what they want to do, they may never achieve what they want in life. So those are the kind, I agree with you, the special case, you give them special toilets. But once they go on the other side, there is no place, there is no those special toilets. They face again some challenges. The same also we are doing, like what I talk about in Agape, the children that we have been trying to give feeding, because we pick them. Some of them, they told us, we went to street to bake food because we didn't have food to eat. So now once we are giving them food, later, through the government laws, we were to reduce the number and say taking back the children back to their society, to their family, to their relatives, where now food is still the same problem. They're still facing the same challenge that they were facing with the day we picked them. So now we realize, what are we going to do? Here we have the government on our neck that we should reduce the number because of the COVID, so to protect whatever we are giving. And also on the other side, they all become victim again with the situation. So now my worry is how many kids we are going to pick back again from the street. We'll pick them from the street after the COVID-19. You know, so now we are asking ourselves, what are we going to do again? Because now the issue is becoming where now all the children now, it's like they are becoming double vulnerable, you know. So the vulnerability become even double than the way it used to be before. So we ask ourselves, well, what are we going to do? Kids cannot play anymore. They were free when they were playing. They could develop their mind. They could participate in activities that we could give them over teamwork when they were together. Now they are alone. With this question, when are we going back to school? It become a problem. So now a child is telling you, you see, there was no need for me to join the school last year. I could just be the street, because even next year, I would know, we don't even know if the school will be there. So now it's becoming a challenge. The parents or the guardians that are living with these children, I'm pretty sure not all are giving them some encouragement that very soon the school will open up, because they didn't have time with them. So now many kids are going to lose hope. Our girls in the community here, they have been pregnanted early in the early age. You know, now you under yourself, a child of 16 is pregnanting a girl of 18. Where are they going to be? They don't even know anything. The church, they were not there, where people could just say, we need to do this. So we have been trying to share a little on Facebook and on our WhatsApp group to see what people can learn. You know, so it was a problem. We didn't even know what to do. And then not everyone can access the online stream messages. So also it's become a problem. So now we are asking ourselves, just God to help us, God to help us, God to help us, God to help us. I'm telling you, to me, I feel like God should help us to see what to do.
Okay, and just on what Oliver has just said, yesterday we sat down and we thought of what can we do. So we've allied with the Ministry of Health here in Dagoretti, and we want to see if we're going to get the young teens, mothers, the girls who are from 13 to 19, who are currently now pregnant, so that we can talk to them, show them the way. Of course, whatever has happened has already happened. And for this to stop, what are we going to do? We really have to take care of these children. We really have to talk to them, and we really have to show them. As much as this has happened, this does not mean this is the end of the world. Right now, I've been trying to watch and even to listen to the social media on how people are even putting photos of girls who've been pregnanted, talking about their ages, putting their faces, and they would even mock and say, look, who did this? Maybe it's your brother, it's your sister. But there is one thing that I want to tell people who access media and people who are in a position to comment anything on media. It's not a good picture. When a girl, a 13-year-old girl is holding a baby, someone has even taken the full photo of this young girl, and it's traumatizing, one, to the girl, and even to the other girls who are maybe in that same position, and even others who are watching. Some will think it's an achievement. If a 13-year-old girl already has triplets, then why don't I try and also get mine? So this is what I'm advocating to anyone who is on social media. If you see or you come across a young teen girl who is pregnant, don't post their photos on media. Instead, if you're close to those girls, go talk to them, show them the way. And I'm sure if you're going to talk to the ones who are currently in this situation, trust me, we are going to put a very big gap to those who are not yet in that situation. And let's remember, if we are going to solve a solution now, or rather if you're going to solve a problem right now, definitely we're going to come to a solution. Our girls are outside there. Imagine we are now waiting for them to go back to school in January. These are 6 months on the line. If we people who are responsible, we cannot talk to them, who else is going to talk to them? So I'm advocating to anyone outside there, be it mothers, fathers, young girls who are in a position to talk. Let's talk to these girls and let them show them that it's not COVID that will make us to be mothers. And we parents, let us know that it's not this COVID situation that it's going to put our children into a situation that it's going to make them very vulnerable. And also children institutions, let us know that it's not this COVID-19 that it's going to make us, say that we have so many challenges, but let us take these challenges as a way to find a solution to these children, and even to help the government come with a solution, a concrete solution on how we are going to take care of our children during this time. Let's engage them in activities like us. We've started beadwork. We've already started putting vegetables in sacks. We are going to the community, especially where we've taken our children, and we are telling them, you will not eat ugali with salt. They take ugali with salt just because they don't have vegetables. Let's plant. If we are six of us in our family, let us put 6 sacks. And if we get 1 leaf from every sack, trust me, we will have changed our society.
More of it is about from the relief to a development life. That is a focus. And we want to tell the children also, let's use the local resources we have before we depend, because now all our doors are closed. No visitors are coming to the homes, and we need to survive. We need to eat. Even them who are at home, we may not be in a position to reach to them, to distribute food every time to them. So what they need to do, they come up either with kitchen gardening, we come with something that can also help them to survive even when they're at home. And also they are learning skills from that. And we are pretty sure, I don't know how they are doing it in Uganda. I don't know how they are doing it in Uganda, but we may also want to hear some from Uganda, from the experience of what they are doing on that kind of empowering the children in the institution.
Yes. Should I come in talk about Uganda?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Please.
Yeah. In Uganda, much as you know, we've been sharing challenges, but now we're talking on the positive beat.
Can I just request Mother to at least mute her microphone? Mother, can you please mute?
Okay. Yeah. So we've also got some good steps that we have used towards a positive change and positive mindset towards people with disability within communities. Currently, we are running a campaign, what if COVID is to stay? And parents have been calling us, we have this challenge, we have this challenge, we have this challenge. So we respond back by saying, okay, we've heard, and yes, we agree, COVID is there, but what if it is to stay? And say, we don't know. Okay. If you don't know, we are giving you ideas on how you can go about this. Can you take time to understand your child? Can you, when you understand this child, look at their strength. What can they do? What can you do together? Different families are coming up with different ideas about the strength. And so we are using this strength into survival skills. I can give one example. We have one mother who has two teens. One is a boy, one is a girl. Both are autistic. But you know, these boys, this sister and brother love water. So most of the time they would like to play in water. They love to, if you're giving them any task, once it is attached to water, they love it. So we said, okay, since they love water, why don't we start a campaign of washing neighbors' clothes so we can get money? And say, hey, I think, yeah, Moses, I think, you know, this is a good idea. So now we have a family that they are making a name out of washing clothes, you know. So we have some other families that are making beads, but this is all because we are telling the parents that, okay, take time to understand your child. Know what your child wants and think of what you can do for your child in case COVID is there to stay. Because if COVID is here to stay, then the government is not opening up, you're not going to work, but you're supposed to feed these children. So think in these lines, what can we do and what can we help? I think it has also helped. We are seeing some community transformation into people seeing that, okay, hey, I didn't know that a child with a mental disability can wash my clothes and, you know, I can give them some money for survival. So we are using it as another opportunity to transform the community towards a positive attitude in disability.
Can I also come in and make a comment?
Please.
Yeah.
I think after realizing that COVID is likely to stay with us a bit longer, one of the campaigns that I've been running and I've been championing people to adopt is we slightly need to move away from giving food. Yes, we can continue to give food to support, but within our programs and within our activities, we can be able to find job opportunities. So one of the example is one of the projects I do in the communities is geared towards constructing of schools. You know, so what we are telling donors right now is if you support us to construct classrooms, then we will employ 10 parents to work on the construction site. And this way they are able to earn a daily wage. They are able to earn something at the end of the day to go home and buy food. And I think that is different compared to if you give us money, we are going to buy food for the families. Because all over across the country, what we have seen, there is a lot of distribution of food and help that sometimes take away the dignity of the people who need that particular help. So women are queuing up, people are fighting to get food. You know, children are being exposed in a negative way because they need help. So what we are advocating for right now is dignity help. Even though we want to help people who are in need, let us do it in a dignified way. And there is no better way of doing it other than having those people work and earn decently. So even if we give them food at the end of the day and someone has done some work, they will feel dignified out of it. So we have turned around many of the programs that we are doing, and we are championing many of the centers that we work with to redraft their plans away from, yes, if someone gives you food, it's fine, you can distribute. But if someone needs to give finances or resources, it is better you use these resources to design some work and bring on board, even if there are just 5 parents per week to work and earn. This way they will go home in the evening feeling that they worked and they earned something. And when you give people money, there is more power to it. When they work and they earn money, there is more power to it than when you give food. You know, when you give material help. Yes, material help might be useful, but what we know Utugi Angels or even special children, special people. They have farms. Some of them do construction activities. They have different things that they do in the homes, that they in the centers that need money. So probably if people donated towards those projects at this time, we will be able to see more parents being incorporated in work. You know, more parents getting back to work and more guardians getting back to work, because COVID-19 has taken away their work. COVID-19 has taken away their sources of livelihood, and people who are once working and paying for things themselves have been turned into beggars. And this has its psychological problems. This has led to many families being breaking up. It has led to violence in the families. It has led to a lot of neglect. Even many of the problems and challenges we have talked about facing the children is as a result of a father has lost his job or a mother has lost her job, and they cannot come around on how they are going to take care of all the needs without a job. But if you call such a parent and you tell them, hey, I want you to spend 2 weeks working on our site, you will be helping us with this and that, and at the end of the day, you will earn 2 euros or 3 euros or 5 euros. Yes, that they will feel empowered again, and they will be able to pay rent or buy food or do whatever they need with a lot of dignity in itself. So we are, of course, championing for that, and we are asking for people who are supporting any kind of community project right now. Instead of giving out money and demanding that you see 100 people have been given food, it is better you give out this money and ask the project or the community project or whatever it is to construct a classroom, and in that process to incorporate parents to do the work and parents to earn that money. So that is what I consider to be quality help. And this is actually what is being adopted by government right now. In Kenya, government has rolled out Kazi Mitaani, I think like job in the streets, and it involves young people cleaning the streets, young people doing different kind of manual jobs so that they can be able to earn a daily wage. It's because this will help in the long term, and economically it has a more impact. So in the villages where I run some of my other projects, if you employ parents and you give them some money, they go home and they have ability to spend, and that helps the local economy, rather than if someone gave me 2,000 euros today and said, I buy food and I distribute, you know, yes, I will buy food and distribute, but at the end of the day, probably if it is me buying the food worth 2,000 euros, I will buy in the wholesale. So there is no money that has circulated. But if I put this money in work and put it maybe in a sewing department and women came and they made clothes, or if I put it in construction of one of the classrooms and I employ 10 parents to do some work for a number of days, they will earn over this period, and there will be a lot of ability to spend within the local economy, and that can really help not just myself, but many other small businesses. They will buy from each other, they will be able to support each other, and I think this way we can successfully go out of this situation better off than we are right now. So as much as we want to help with the handouts don't last, and they are not very, very good.
Somebody wants to answer?
The good idea, if I can contribute, the good idea of, as Zachaus has said, of helping the institution maybe to build up some classes, you know, is also good. It's also good because it can be a benefit from the two ways. One, the beneficiary, that the parent, the community will benefit from it. There's going to be some lesson that people know that we need to work so that we can earn. Another thing is also a way of expanding and making the schools or the place where it's offering offer to these children an extended way of facility, enough space enough conducive environment. You know, by the time they are building the classrooms in a school, it's giving a chance also for some students to have a good place where to be, the children to have a good place to be. The same time, the parents won't see that we only receive food. We just receive food. I have a problem, I just go and receive food. So they need to know that I need to contribute, because also they have a part to contribute for the development of that place that has been a source for them for income. And also they feel the ownership of the program. It won't be for the institution or for the people who have given money for food. The ownership will be for the community. The parents, they'll feel they own it. The ownership belongs to them. So they'll make sure they'll take care of the property of that institution. They'll make sure they value what the children are getting from there. They also value the input that is going through their children, also benefiting from that institution. So that ownership also will be good for the community. So I also agree, as we say, it will be more on the development than the relief, so that they feel like, because it will stay for long. Once we do that, it stay for long. You know, we can give them food, we can give them euros. We buy food. Is a one-day activity. Is just a donation of one way. But if it can also be channeled through that kind of idea of building something, is permanent. Starting business is permanent. Doing the sewing machine for them, people to be coming there and get some benefits. Some people will learn also experience from that. But food we can just give and then they can forget. It's good to give food sometime, just for a short time as a period. But maybe we can make us that way of looking for a long-term solution that can also change the community. That can also be better. So that's what I support on that idea. I support that.
I support that too, and I think community ownership is really important if it comes to project development, because when the communities are aware that this is our own sweat, this is our own property, they really take good care of that property, and they'll do all that it takes to make sure that they sustain it even after COVID. Yeah.
So we finally are finding some solutions here. And one is community property.
Yes.
And working there and maybe do some farming there.
True.
Be more self-sustainable.
Yeah, and if it comes to people like, especially us that are working with special needs, it's really important in a sense that sometimes we find challenges within communities. You know, some people don't want to integrate with us because they feel maybe autism is infectious. If they come closer to me, maybe their child will also get autism, maybe their child will get Down syndrome, etc., etc. But now we have a trap where we are calling in the community that please come, let's work together. The parents are going to come, but we're not going to leave the children behind. I mean, a parent can carry maybe 2 bricks, a child may carry 1. But at the end of the day, when these parents go back to their homes and families, they are going to share their experiences of what they've seen. Some of them think that these children are aggressive. Some of them think the children are violent. But if we get that moment of getting the families and children together, we are going to be sharing a positive attitude change back to the communities, because it is going to be researched and physical based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are losing our participants at the moment. Martha?
I'm certain they'll come back.
Martha, do you want something to say something? If you want to say something, please unmute your mic.
Hello?
Yes?
You hear me now?
We can't see you at the moment, but we can hear you.
You can't hear me? Hello?
I can hear you, but I cannot see you. Martha, where are you? So Oliver is back. You're just waiting for Martha. Martha, where are the angels? So when we lost you, Oliver, we just were talking about that we finally found a solution, which is going for community property.
Yes.
And doing some self-sustaining work there as farming.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you. That's good.
Martha, you are back.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I wish to contribute and say that it's possible. Whatever we are discussing here, it's doable.
That's
it's
true.
Possible.
That's right.
From my experiences, from the experiences I've had with the Utugi Angels, we can say that we only have one funder, the Lift the Children. And we have been operating for 7 years now. We have never had any funding. And we can say that we have really been struggling to do activities to be able to sustain ourselves. Even if we haven't got there with all the challenges surrounding special needs. We just imagine if we had money to do projects that can be able to support to sustain ourselves. And slowly but slowly, we are doing cottage industries, which are engaging the people that we are imparting skills to, and they get into those activities and earning money for themselves. So ours is about maximizing self-reliance. And whatever we're discussing here, I'm hearing something that we are all looking for sustainable development.
That's right.
And I can say that it's doable, it's possible.
That's true.
It's doable. If only we are able to have those projects. The challenge is that there's no, the opportunities of having that amount to put up a project is the challenge. But right. If we can be able to put up those projects up and running, I imagine like Utugi Angels, we do beadwork, we do weaving, and we have had no market associations, but slowly selling them to our communities, and we get the sugar, we get the tea leaves, we get the maize, slowly by slowly. I believe that we are headed somewhere. And if only we would be able to access funds that can do projects that are sustainable. We have so many on the list, only that we lack the resources. Yeah.
Yes. I can imagine that you lack the resources. And one of the reasons why we did this interview today is you will get the access to the interview, and please distribute it to your donators.
Yes, yes.
And now they hear your needs, now they hear your problems, now they hear what the solution could be. And that's all you need is a bit of funds to raise the self-sustaining projects.
Yes.
And I only can ask to all your donators, please jump in, and be it the Special Children of Uganda, or be it the Utugi Angels, or the Agape Hope Project, or the project of Zachuas, it really comes to a very good point. And it really will be given to the right people. That's and what I will do is I will post this video in a community of marketers who have a lot of money. And I will ask them to donate to you.
Good. Thank you so much. We'll appreciate so much.
Yes.
As you see, what we are doing is we are also trying to see on how we can do more of the empowerment program, and we realize the community that is surrounding us. It was an issue of where the resources of buying the tools and where to start, where to start doing this kind of project. So it has been an issue. So if we can have people who can, they can believe in what we are doing, we promise we'll give the good result, the very good, pleasing result that people will be proud of and see what a community transformation can be. Because once we do it, we want to look for a solution on how we can reduce in the vulnerability among our children in our areas. And once we empower them and then we empower the community, is also a way, once our community is healed, where our community is empowered, we expect the children also to be empowered in our areas. And then the community will be healthy, the children will be healthy, because they'll know these are the people who will come back to do the ruling and also the activity in our area. So once we get tools and way of implementing our project, our long-term project, the income, the sustainabilities in our community and the center that we are running to, because we use our center, we are using our center as a point of contact. Our centers are like a point of contact where even as an address where everybody who is looking for a guidance or who is looking for a way of asking an opinion on how can I do it, they get to our centers and then we can give to them what they want. So we really look for that, so that we'll be very happy if all our supporters and other people will come in and support in our long-term program. Is going to be well. And also, you see, sometimes it's also a challenge when we are operating in a rental places. Like Agape, you know, when we're operating in a rental places, and if people can look at least at the insurance of a place, because tomorrow Oliver Maggie may not be in Agape, but we want the Agape to remain as a backbone of the people, even the project in the future. So we're also looking for this, so we can do a sustainability. We are trying to do more of agriculture to empower the community, because we found is the only easiest way where people can access anyhow and anywhere. But we need to see, we need to get some effort and some tools, some standing points where at least we know we can do this, and we have a support from our anybody, wheelchairs, donors who can be part of this, and we promise a very good positive result that can come out of this. So let's build our community, let's build our children as we continue to do this.
Maybe I could contribute,
yeah,
and say that as I say, it's possible. I would say that as we have done pottery, we have done dairy, we are doing farming in a small way. And we were just imagining that if only we could be able to do more of this. For example, if you're producing like 13 trays of eggs per day, if we could be able to do like 50 per day and be able to do our milk in larger volumes. And again, like something like when we are doing vegetables. Right now, with COVID-19, we saw an opportunity because we are thinking that people would love to use vegetables from one point. And we are thinking that if we would do our vegetables in a larger way, or that we produce ours for feeding and even excess for selling, we could be able to pack that. And people can trust when they come to buy from a farm directly, because with the COVID issues, there's this handling, so many people handling the vegetable before it reaches you. So if they can be able to come and from one stop, they can be able to have we dry the vegetables and pack. They can be able to collect a package for maybe for 1 month. We are looking at it as an opportunity, and we are thinking about that project, but we don't have the resources to kickstart that. Yeah, but it's doable. Yeah, Utugi Angels, we have experience. We can actually say we have tried everything to be able to sustain ourselves because we didn't have donors.
That's right. That's right.
It's possible. My colleagues, it's possible.
It's possible. We agree with you. It's very
together. It's very possible.
Yeah.
Can I come in and make some remarks? Sorry, I lost connection at some point because of internet issues.
No problem.
And Yes, Mary, thank you very much for offering always to connect and continue to share our word out there, because the objective of even me writing to you and asking you if you could do this call was we need to get the voices of people who are working with children out there to the larger audience, to know that there are people who are committed to work with the vulnerable, and there are various ways that they can support, you know. And one of the things the centers have suffered a lot from is the issue of people thinking they only need to donate clothes, or they only need to give food stuff, and not feeling that these centers need to develop, need to grow, and need to have a better sustainable mechanism. And you can hear it from them, and I do hope that our audience can hear it. We have seen so many centers that have grown and have become independent by themselves, and they are able to support community in a light way than just sharing out food resources and such things. So we do, from a Lift the Children point of view, we are a big network. Through us, you can reach 54 others that are following this conversation.
That's right.
Through Lift the Children, you can reach many others in the community, and these are very grassroots organizations. So people who want to work with this network can be very sure that they are working with a network of very grassroots organizations that are working at the lowest part of the society, supporting the most vulnerable children at a very lower level. So as we grow as organizations, because we are small, but as we grow and continue to expand, then we are bringing along so many people who otherwise the bigger organizations that are already established might not be able to reach. And this is something that we really consider, and we really appreciate you for giving us the platform to share about this, because it's one of the things that small organizations lack. Even though they are doing a lot of good work, they lack opportunities to speak to a larger audience, to share what the experiences are, to exactly say what they are doing. And small organizations, from my experience, have a lot of wonderful solutions, whether it is a solution for 15 people, for 30 people, for 50 people. Those solutions really work, other than when you look at very big organizations that have already been, have already gone through a lot of structural development. They do, yes, they do help at a large scale, but they do miss an aspect of person-to-person kind of contact that small organizations can be able to give. So when Agape is talking about the children they talk about, when Mother is talking about the children in her center, or Moses is talking about the children in Uganda, they are talking about very small groups of people that they know individually, and they know that they need help. And over a period of time, as they reach 10, 20, 40, 50, these are the same people that, if left alone, they will be abandoned to society. And you see, small organizations have ability to do these small things more effectively. And as they grow, they are able to pick along a lot of experiences that they bring, and they can even share with other big organizations that have already gone far away, that this is what the solutions are. So we do believe that we have a voice. We do believe we have solutions that can really help if they are scaled up, if they are made bigger. But we do need a voice, and we do need this voice of ours to reach a big audience. And we invite those people to come and plug into these small organizations and trust to build them, trust to grow with them. The challenge we do have is people come in and they expect that we are perfect. Small organizations have very many challenges. They don't have staffs, they don't have resources to build up the right infrastructure, they lack training, they lack skills, and all these things need to be supported. People need to support them so that over time, these small organizations can be effective in what they are doing. So even as we share, even as we talk to the audience that is watching us live now and will continue to watch us later on the recording, the idea is, as you collaborate with small organizations, you are very confident that you are collaborating with the people who are working directly with the end user of your services, and they will benefit directly from whatever support you give. So we are very grateful up to that end.
Yeah. As I said, Zachuas, this video will be given to you so that you can use it for your personal issues, to give it to your donators, to give it to the organizations who did support you in the past. And I think if we work together and we just spread the news, nobody knows.
Yes.
Help will come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That is very true, and that's the biggest thing you have given us today, a big audience to share and to talk about what we do. Many big organizations have been able to book interviews on TV, book interviews elsewhere, and to speak about what they are doing. And small organizations have not had that opportunity, and you have exactly given us that. We have talked, we have shared what we are seeing and what we experience about our society. So we are very, very grateful. And thank you for offering the video so we can continue to make this information public.
Thank you so much.
Would you wish that we talk again in a few weeks?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So let's continue that talk next month.
Yes.
Yes.
You actually remember I said, I told you when I wrote to you that I have a big audience, and I would love that we have different speakers every now and then. And today we have been blessed to have Oliver, to have Martha with us, to have Moses with us from Uganda. And we do have those who are following online, that after this call, maybe some of them didn't send me their profile because they were scared. They didn't know how this conversation would go, but they have seen what it is like. And I will definitely, after this, we will receive feedback on how the conversation went. And next time we will have other speakers who may be interested to come through and speak about their experiences as well. But we will continue to do this as long as you allow us. We are willing to continue to have this conversation. And you're also free to engage us on any other subject relating to our society in Africa and what the situation is. And a lot of these people have a lot of experiences in issues to do with children, community, leadership, projects, and coordination. And they can really share a lot with the world at large. So we definitely look forward to another chance to speak to you again in a month's time. And if that goes well, many more other sessions.
We will do that. I just have a last question to Martha.
Okay,
Martha,
yes.
Martha, do you know that autism can be healed by homeopathy, by homeopathic treatment? Do you know about homeopathy and homeopathic treatment?
Not really.
Not really, okay.
You're talking about?
I'm talking about medical help by another system like the conventional medicine, by a holistic traditional German thing, which is practiced in India a lot. In India, we have the best homeopaths of the world. And I know specialists who are very, very successful in treating autism.
I have no connection with any. I have no idea. Maybe I would really appreciate if you would connect.
Okay, so maybe next time I should ask some of the Indian doctors to join us.
Yes, we can do. I would really appreciate.
Okay, so we will do that. I will ask who volunteers.
Yes, we hold our dreams dear. We want to live, we want our dreams to be alive, even beyond us. So we would really appreciate to work towards achieving our dreams. Like our dream is maximizing self-reliance. We want to see as many people with disabilities as possible get maximized. Get maximum capacity so that they don't be dependent. We are working towards reducing the dependency syndrome.
Yeah.
We are happy.
I have a special Indian doctor in my mind, and I will ask her whether she volunteers to participate in a talk and maybe volunteers to help you.
I would really appreciate.
Okay, so thank you. I think for that we will stay in, we will follow up. I'll follow up with that, and we can set up so that anybody else who will be interested in participating can also participate in. And we do appreciate that kind of connection very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will end for today and give my regards to Moses. And we will meet again in a few weeks. I will email you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.